Alrighty, Kevin Rose, thank you very much for doing this. First, tell me, when we first started corresponding, you told me that way back when you were in Gary Radnich's carpool. How did you get from Gary Radnich's carpool to here?
Wow. Yeah, Gary Radnich was actually friends with my dad, and we used to, for one reason or another, they knew each other, and we used to carpool, and he would give me rides to school in the morning.
Now, your dad did like PR for various sports teams around
No,
there?
no, no. He was actually working as an accountant at that time.
Oh, really?
So I'm not sure how they knew each other. I never asked my dad that. I don't know what the ties were. But yeah, and then for some reason, well, his daughter was going to the same school that I was, or his son or his daughter. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I was like 4. But yeah, so I moved away.
Now, hold on, you were blogging in it for though, weren't you?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Very early on,
Yeah.
early adopter, BBS days. But yeah, I mean, I got involved in computers and the internet very early on. I was into computers when I was in junior high, and there was, I remember hearing about modems for the first time, and that you could connect and go online on these things called bulletin board systems. And so I found out how to actually install that and get that working on a COM port, which is a very difficult thing to do back in the DOS days. Yeah, that was crazy times. And then I found out you could pirate software for free and get free software. I didn't have any money, so that sounded like a great thing to do. So that kind of got me hooked. Software piracy, pretty much.
Right. The old Where's for.
Terrible to
right?
say first. Yeah. Tried to.
I still remember the day I brought home my first 300 baud modem.
Right.
For
Yeah.
my
Totally.
Commie 64.
Yeah. So the first modem I had was a 2400 baud, but sometimes it would connect at like 1200 baud, and it would take a while, and it was just like the ANSI graphics. You'd see it go down like one line at a time. That was fun though. Those door games were awesome. Did you ever try the? Yeah. The BBS door games were great. They were a lot of fun. So yeah, did that. Big geek in high school, and back then it wasn't cool to be a geek. So pretty much, yeah, no girlfriends or anything like that.
And where'd you go to high school?
Out in Votech, which is like a technical high school out in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So yeah, I went to high school out there, and then graduated, started working for the government, went to school part-time, UNLV, computer science, dropped out, left everything behind, and moved out to the Bay Area in 2000.
So you grew up originally in the Bay Area, and then you moved to Vegas, or how did that?
So yeah, let me think how that worked exactly. I was born in Redding, California, and then my folks moved to Sacramento. And then from there to Oregon, and then to Las Vegas. But yeah, the majority of my years were spent in Vegas. Grew up there from second grade till I was like 22 or something like that.
So what the heck did you do for the government, or you have to kill me if you told me?
I worked in the Nevada test site, which is broken up into a bunch of different areas, and I was basically one of their technical guys out in the field that would go out and make sure that the areas could talk to each other, make sure that the computers were working. Yeah, and it was pretty cool because it was in the middle of nowhere. The test site's about the size of Rhode Island. I mean, craters all over the place from nuclear blasts and just really kind of crazy experiments. A lot of crazy stuff going on out there. It took me a while to get all my clearances that I needed to get in, but it was fun once I did.
And what did you take away from that? What did you learn from all that?
The government uses very old computers, and they never upgrade, and it sucks. From all that, I think it was just, I knew that I wanted to break out of that kind of 9-to-5 routine. It was kind of that experience where I realized that some of these people that worked out at the test site had been there for 30 years, and it was just, I didn't want to get stuck in that kind of rut. I wanted to try something new, and I always had really crazy little websites and projects, and you name it, going back to when I first started getting on the internet. I ran my own bulletin board system back in the BBS days, so always playing around with ideas online.
And you were coding too at the same time?
Yeah, a little bit. During those days, I really wasn't writing anything useful, though. It was all just little apps and still learning how to write code, and it was more or less just school projects and things like that. But as far as anything useful, I started doing PHP a few years later after that, but just it was easier for me to hire someone than for me to take the time to learn how to do it. So, I mean, the basics are very easy. You can start coding in PHP in just a week, but to really become a professional PHP developer takes quite a bit of time.
So Kevin Rose shows up in the Bay Area. What happened?
So I was here in 2000, started working at .com, which went out of business. Big surprise. Then I, from there, went to Tech TV and started working as kind of behind-the-scenes support person for one of their television shows called The Screensavers.
So, and then eventually you ended up on camera.
Yeah, so I found a hole in Windows XP that was a security vulnerability that I found, and we submitted it to Microsoft. They really didn't care about it. They didn't issue a patch for it, so we decided to go public with that information. And they wanted me to come on the show and demonstrate how I did it and what the hack was. So I came on, did that one segment. They really liked it and kept inviting me back.
So what did you think of the world of television?
TV is television. Let me think about how to best phrase this. The thing about television that I really didn't like was the idea of that. Let me set that over again. I'm killing my words. One of the biggest problems with TV is that you have an executive producer that you have to report to, and it's that person that steers the ship. I mean, that's a good thing if you're working on a series, but when you're trying to create tech programming, you really want to have control over the direction of that content. And so with television, they're always saying, well, you have a 7-minute segment, I want to see it in 3. And when you're trying to teach someone how to do something, you need to take that time. You really can't cut out steps of how to install a motherboard in a computer or something technical. And that was very frustrating that we would constantly be losing segments or having to condense and scrunch down these really beefy, great segments that we had into just a few minutes. So that was one of the nice things about the web and Revision 3 is that we can take as much time as we want and really get technical if we need to.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have spent much of my career in that same business, and it is, you got to figure out what are the essential elements and tell the war in Iraq in 25 seconds.
Right.
I mean, we literally are doing that on a day-to-day basis. And I guess we've been told in the industry for a long time that people don't have the attention span. People don't have, nobody is going to watch something that's more than 1.5 minutes long.
Right.
But you're finding that's not true on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were told all the time. I mean, it was always about how can we jump to the next topic to keep people's attention. And with the internet, one of the things that kind of surprised us was that we would launch these shows, and some of them were half hour, 45 minutes long, and people would ask for them to be longer. We'd get emails saying we want longer form content, and forever it's just drilled in your head in television like this needs to be 3 minutes, this needs to be short. But now we're seeing that, I mean, people really do want to take the time to learn something, and it's great that we can do that online.
So you used an important word there, and a word that's important obviously for Digg, and that's attention. In TV we tease constantly forward, we're doing all of these sort of smoke and mirrors ways to get people's attention. On Digg, it's all about how you get attention as well. So I mean, in some ways that's still the currency in this new medium.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with Digg,